Hey everyone, Pesmore here and welcome to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Yeah, that's just the way it is. I didn't know. I never knew the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. I wanted Dark to convict it so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean? It's all in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. What did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. Huh? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. So that means you... Yeah, I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. I didn't see that one coming. That was 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. But before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck, and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture into my mind. I can see it now. A permanent picture. I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall, so you weren't able to testify about that. No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must have been why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence, and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yeah, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. He could. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, it's all my fault. I could have just testified properly. None of this would have happened. So it's true. Even though he may not have known it, Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. She must have not been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred? Dark knocked down Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma. You've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago. You must have been 14. That's understandable. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I wanted to fight crime with my testimonies, and to find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor? Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course! This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. Why did he run all the way to your sister's office? Because the detective's offices and the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, right? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. No, you did not. She was the best in the entire force. Huh? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. I feel like she skipped a few steps. I'm not even sure if that's proper. Lana used to be a detective? Better have another talk with her. He looks wimpy, but you can tell there's a sharp edge under that facade. That bellboy's gonna be someone someday. Wish someone could say that about me. Charlie. Looks a little yellow today. Well, I wanted him just now. I'm mixed in a lot too. Mixed in what? Oh, I'm my very own scientific additive. Well, Charlie, you like it? I told you he's turning yellow. Okay, Maya snuck it up there on the day she left. Didn't have the heart to take it down. I do sometimes get strange looks from the clients, though. Okay. Hello. Lana! Mr. Wright, seems to keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence. Didn't think you were the type. What made you think that? Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago? And how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office? That's right. Could you fill me in on the details? Especially about the unusual change of jobs. I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. A lot of revelations were uncovered on the trial today. Not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from the case was stolen as well, and though I expected as much, I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, huh? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At the trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana. What the witness, Miss Starr, said. That you're stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so fazed before. It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. Damn. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant? He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked at the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever! They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Emma really idolized her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on being a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience in investigating crime scenes. So you could use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to his resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Drake. Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right? Yeah. The Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office, and the same investigation. I hope nothing else happened between you two. We even had the same office? Yeah, that has a lot of opportunities, I'm just saying. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place, when he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Drake. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us? Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Drake that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Drake must have suddenly panicked. So he waited till Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the scene. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run into the scene, Lana. It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Drake. When I returned to my office, I found 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, The suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her. After all her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Drake under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right. Quite a coincidence, huh? I don't buy it. Huh? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in the incident. Just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person who went to extremes. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came in as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with closing off the case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case might not be over just yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes. In the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Gant now occupies by himself. The chief's office. Maybe we should take a look at the office. The site of the final murder. The final SL9 murder. Okay. Oh, howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall! I never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera sera. I don't know how to say that. You never know where life will lead ya, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Is that the name of your dick or something? Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance. But we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But, Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prosecutors head west? If there was ever a case, if ever there was a case, I needed to know the truth about it. It was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, do you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Well, something was fishy about the trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean, fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean the switchblade with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound those victims sustained. What do you mean? It means there was a good chance the knife was not a murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility has been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SL9 incident left behind. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he? Your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that day. The highest honor? You mean the king of prosecutors? I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for prosecutors. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transferal. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall, there was thunder. Can't believe 2 years had gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently, someone tried to stop you. Goodman was murdered and the evidence locker was empty. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in the case, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? They did something to him, too. The commissioners would get suspicious. Nah, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? What are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Sky. The investigation lead, Damon Gant, and his second-in-commander, Lana Sky. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah. Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same person since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Sky was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago. So there you have it. That's my story. Enjoy it, partner. It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you. When you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. Well, that's quite sad. Where do we go? I went in the building. Nothing. I went out the building, something, and I had to go back in the fucking building for something. Okay, that's very nice. This place is always pretty empty, but today is deserted. This must be everyone's busy solving crimes? Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. But the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth. Not to mention our statement to the media and tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those. No. Not unless you're, working at a supermarket. Or, a shop. Sir? We'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there. I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Shut your mouth, mate. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the office. Okay. Ooh, what the fuck? Is that a fucking church organ? Oh my god. This is the kind of... Oh my... Does he play this when he's watching Dracula or something? Or does he play this when Dracula's here? God damn. Bruh, when he plays the organ, does the whole building hear it? Whoa, what the fuck? This is the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it says on the door. Check out the pipe organ. It's real, right? Hey! I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. What kind of kindergarten did you go to? God damn. They used to call me Little Miss Batch. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes. I never could remember what C was. Oh, it's you two. Chief Gent. He put that paper he was reading on his desk. So, Righto. Have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kinda busy lately. I can appreciate that. I had my hands full too, with Mr. Marshall's misconduct. And Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since the incident. My, how time flies! See that big picture on the wall over there? That's the picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with the picture. Can't quite seem to put my finger on it though. Huh? Anyway, I like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's get out together. Oh, but this office, it was the crime scene 2 years ago, right? This case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said, there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and fuck off! I have a meeting to attend. Looks like we aren't welcome. It seems that case isn't over with yet, after all. What do you mean? He denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he didn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's gotta be a way we can get inside the office. Ah ha ha ha! Only the illegal ways. How do I get in the office? Okay. Hey, pal. Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting today? Just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long? Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Gumshoe, alright. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. Poor Edgeworth. It's almost like the battles between you two in court. Yeah, he always loses those battles, you know? That's not a good thing. That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. How Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Again. Yikes. I've been studying up those case files. There's nothing wrong with Mr. Edgeworth's presentation. To think people are accusing him of injustice. I ain't buying it, pal. You're looking into the case for Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah. I think it's a pretty big deal while it was going on, you know. After all, a serial killer was on the loose. But Lana was pretty clear in her confession. She forged evidence in order to prove him guilty. You know Officer Marshall? Of course I do. He was like a mentor to me. When I first started out, he even gave me a small cactus. Really? He said, Dick, she'll listen to all your troubles and give you some too. Note to self, Gumshoe talks to a cactus. Hard to believe he's just a patrolman now. Someone ought to trade places with him. What? Why are you looking at me like that? About that jar? I think I've seen it somewhere before. Somewhere. Or maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives. Must have been the most unformative detective I've ever met. Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the chief's office and he's yelling at me. Chief Gant? Where could I have seen that before? There's no reason for a murderer to touch his own locker. Hey, wasn't your locker the one with the blood on it? The handprints of the real murderer's gloved hand without any fingerprints. Shh! If they come to arrest me, you'll defend me, right? If that happens, I think you'll do better pleading with Edgeworth. Oh, a lost report item, huh? Very impressive, detective! You knew that it was right off the bat. Well, I'm a master of misplacement, you know. Master? That has a cool ring to it. The way I see it, if things are meant to be lost, then they're meant to be lost. Aha, sure. There's a higher power at work here. Okay. Wow, a higher power! Maybe I shouldn't let Emma hold any evidence. Hey, that power is useful for detecting fingerprints. Yeah? Edgeworth gave it to us. You did what? All I have is some flour. Are you guys okay? Are you okay, detective? Quick, run! If there's any help, one time I took a nap on the bench with wet paint. Why am I not comforted? That's the ID record, right? Yeah, there's only one number left to investigate. At 420, blaze it. The victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room with someone else. Someone with an executive officer number. Yeah, 7777777. That's 17 too many, detective. An executive officer. I might just have a hunch. Now I can go around detecting blood traces too. Wow! Is that a new type? Never seen that bottle before. Add 3 inches to your base height. God damn it. Base height? Hey, let me see that. Looming tall. New and improved growth formula. You mean this can't detect any blood traces? Not quite the same thing as luminol. So that's why the lady at the counter had that smirk on her face. Ah. How about this? Hey, is that... Has a tag attached to it, with the label SL9 incident on it. Wow, apt observation. I believe that'd be a broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. The day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker and was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it. Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Huh? What is it, Detective? Before you forget again! But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Sky is the guilty party here, right? Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there's a lot of rumors going around about him. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this... Are there really so many people who hate him? Yes. In our world, only those with talents rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better receipt I know for making enemies. Hey, Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch sometime. My treat. Yes, sir. You gotta take me back to that joint somewhere, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. Seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all the pressure, I'm afraid he'll just crack. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier. All the coffee was brewing. Seemed genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find anything? The only evidence Stark had left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean... when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl? Me. Seems Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. Honestly, who was? That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. What was it? Let's see. I think it has something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fails to impress me. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. I literally just did. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. What had made him take to serial killing? One day to his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So it was an accident? An accident, yes. But it transformed him into an animal. An animal? He killed the man that witnessed the accident, and he killed the lady who, and the kid, a fucking kid? And a jogger? And finally he turned himself in. Seems like he was a pretty careless animal. Of course this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Drake was arrested on the spot. It was a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness. Emma. This knife. It's Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. He traced it back to the store he bought it. Plus, it had his fingerprints on it too. But no one actually witnessed him use a murder weapon, right? using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Well, anyway, take a guess where the broken off tip was found. That's what did him in. Where? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Drake's knife? Why am I saying Drake? It's dark. You bet. Down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. Not money, but it does concern the Chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The Chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, if any detective's ID card can open the door. Really? But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this card? It was Goodman's. That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into the office. Shut up, phone. I wonder if there's something we could show him that will make him change his mind. I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is! It looks like he's writing something. What are you doing here? He sure is quick to throw that paper onto the floor. Tough day in court, huh? Had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. This picture was hanging on the wall in Gant's office. How do you show him that? Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something bothering me. Yeah? The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different from yours. Yeah, you're right. I remember now. Remember what? That is what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like. Until 2 years ago. There's a story behind this design. A story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award is based on. It seems everything in this case is designed to cast doubt on me. Hey, don't look at me. Yeah, I went to the evidence room that day of the crime. Chief Gant asked me to do something. To take evidence from a case solved 6 months ago back to the prosecutor's office. I have a locker in there as well. Did you notice anything amiss when you were in the evidence room? That room's always dark and I was in a hurry. Didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Come on now, Wright. You can't seriously expect me to just sit down and chat with you about the case over a cup of tea. But this isn't related to the case, right? You said so yourself. So I did. Karen gave this to you that day, right? He asked you to bring it here from the police department. Chief is a very competent man, but sometimes he does things that don't make sense. At least it's better than being incompetent and doing things that don't make sense. A certain detective comes to mind. You know, it wouldn't hurt if you put this on a shelf or something. It has no meaning for me anymore. What do you mean anymore? That's who I was last year. What good is it to dwell on the past? Funny, because that was your whole arc in episode 4? Dwelling on the past? He's asking me? Nah, why can't he just accept it graciously? Actually, something's been troubling me about this shield. Look! Do you notice anything different? Different? Yeah, but don't you remember the other shield in the court record? Guess I better present this on the shield. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I can do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, right? I mean, is that the evidence was falsified? The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error. My responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth! I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Ain't nothing but a heartache. Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Yeah, he needs therapy, probably. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First, last year's trial and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow's the last day. It was too late to change prosecutors. I bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists? That's odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for the case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what must be done. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Say, you just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture. Something seems strange about it. Could you tell us about what happened that day? The day Goodman was murdered? You were participating in the ceremony over at the station, right? Never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes. Just odds and ends. Clerical stuff. I didn't even plan on returning to the office that day. That's until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah! Garrett's asked you to hold on to that, right? Yeah, it was a piece of evidence in the case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to? That's right. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield. Have you heard the story? No? Yeah, sure. Everyone knows that story. Why did you tell it though, for Emma's sake? Very well. Long ago, in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with 2 items. First, a halberd. He claimed could slice through any armor or shield. The second was a shield. He claimed could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Those claims contradict with each other. Very perceptive. But then again, you heard that story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Is that really correct? Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant and a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if the results are as ugly as this. Wow! Thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learn something new every day. That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given the shield? You have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberds part of the award abolished. Chief Gant. Excuse me? Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? Miss Starr! I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, huh? Kinda like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. Yeah, what a tale that guy must tell, huh? And I wonder... would the poor guy who sucked the male cows... I wonder if they were like, so it comes out of this. Does it come out of the male cows? And then they must have tried that, And then it's like, well, it's white, but it's sticky. God damn it, I hate myself for saying that. I should move on before I lose something. Probably my mind. I'm not gonna be able to sleep anymore. Too many regrets in life. Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Everyone in the trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can't be attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness. The instant Lana stabbed Goodman with a knife. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Miss Starr's hatred towards Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Joe Dark. That's the name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though. Must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye. My sister? The best of the best were put on the SL9 case. Of course they were led by the legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. That legendary pair were the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of the evidence? Don't get me wrong. Joe Dark got what he fucking deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were being kept secret. But you don't have proof anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana, don't say that backwards, Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She's being used? Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation while Lana seconding command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of mysteries together, right? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His what? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence? You mean... Oh yes! There were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence? Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yeah, myself included. I was a fool, really. Never meet your heroes. She hated anything crooked, and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have ever recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, right? Yeah, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief? That's right. Having solved the SL9 incident, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. And the prosecutor's office? Oh, the prosecutor's office. What? You mean, that's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change. At least, I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Star. You listen to me, you rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. Is that all? I hope so. I don't know where to go now. Oh, you're back. You're still here? Gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brew and coffee, copy and files. I'm turning into a regular DJ. A what? You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Oh, that DJ! Gotta admit, gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's no. We're not letting you to the chief's office, period. It's been my neck on the line. The office is the last crime scene for the SL9 incident. I have to take a look in there. There's got to be something to make the detective change his mind. Case distracting. I'll check it out. Now, hey Edgeworth. Is a gumshoe at the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground! Hold on. First let me see what this girl is doing crawling around my feet. Didn't even look. What? That's our fur! If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if... something just snapped, something inside of me. But Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think it's serious. Mr. Wright? Please, you have to do something. This letter of resignation. I wonder if I could use it for anything. Thanks, mate. You gave me the perfect shot. Hey, gumfuck. Took me like 10 minutes to find this, but here. It's gonna be your fault, bitch. What's this crumpled up piece of paper? No way! Edgeworth can't be serious. Is he ever not serious? Can't believe they pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him. Detective! That's it. I made up my mind. Huh? Here, take this. You can't do that. Someone found out. They won't let you off with a hook. Let you off with a hook? Yeah, they're gonna give him a hook, alright. A left hook, a right hook, and an uppercut. I mean, if you think they can't, sure you can. They won't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be discussed terminated. What? So at least let me do this. For Edgeworth's sake. Alright, detective. Thanks. Oh, thanks. Here goes, Wright. Here goes, Wright! Oh. Gumfuck's fucked. We're in! If anyone fights us now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Oh, hi. Again? Sorry. I thought you were a ghost. Didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Detective Gumshoe. What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I was sneaking. I was worried about something might go wrong. So I came too. If you're here, then what's the point of giving us your card? Why is it crushed? Hey, don't do that to my card! I hardly ever get a chance to come in here, so I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. You really do want to get fired, huh? Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find. I've got a bad feeling about this. That desk on the other side of the room. Was that your sister's? Yeah. That's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. That's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves it as a warning to anyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. So ever since Lana left, no one ever touches the desk. No, except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady who helps, who's in here each morning. Still, 2 years passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came in here to look around, right? Because it's one of those SL9 crime scenes? I mean, that's your only reason for coming in here, right? Why do you ask? You don't think... Nah, you wouldn't be. No. No, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Okay, now then, let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on! Not so fast, buddy! Huh? What is it? When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go off at that. Sorry. This guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, what's bothering you? You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, right? What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do you think? Chief Gant. So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet. There you go, ignoring me again. Well, time will tell. It's a safe, right? Safe? That word is ripe with intrigue. Okay, if you say so. It looks like a code is needed to be entered in this panel to open it. 7-digit number. Think I just might know what it is. Let me see. Oh, wait. I think I might know. Do you know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. I'm gonna try my birthday, right? It's... I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. I can't believe that worked! Okay, bingo. What number did you enter? Whose birthday was it, pal? Who, if that's a birth date, I don't know what to say. 7 sevens. The final ID number on the record. What? The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day. You mean 77777777? That ID number. I think you're 1 7 shy this time. That can only be one thing. That's Gat's number. Say, anyone care to look inside? Okay. Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed anyway? It's a vase. A shot of a broken cup. This somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen it before? There's something else in here too! What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. Ah, this is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design? No. Oh, well, it was just a thought. Is that it? Is that all? In the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now. Piece of cloth with a handprint on it. And a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with the case, I'm afraid I can't let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Great. I have to prove their relevancy to them. To get them. How are these items related to the SL9 incident? Come on! There's gotta be something we can show to the detective. The chief's organ is a sight to behold. Occasionally we hear him playing from the Criminal Affairs Department. That's on the 2nd floor, and this is on the 15th floor of an entirely different building. When the detective screws up, the chief calls him to his office and makes him listen to the organ for hours. What kind of sadistic bitch does that? What's the matter about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, the detective can't hear anymore for days except the ringing in their ears. So it's an instrument of punishment. Literally. But are the chief's ears affected? He never listens to anyone anyway. That's beside the point. This is the real deal, huh? This armor and these weapons? Sure is, pal. The chief doesn't care for imitations. First the pipe organ and now the armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must be going into this room? Huh? You mean we're paying for this? That's it! I'm not paying a cent of my taxes! Oh dear God. You don't have any taxes to pay. Not yet. Shh. Be careful what you say. Who knows? The chief might be hiding in the armor as we speak. I don't think he'd fit in there. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out. Cut it out. You guys don't know how scary that guy can be. Wow! Look at the size of Chief Gant's desk! Speaking of that, when we were here... he put a paper on the desk, yes. I wonder what he was reading. This looks like a list of evidence. A list of evidence. In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this though. Hey! Look at the case name! Huh? SL9! I wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say? I said, I wonder what... No, about the evidence list. Normally they're twice as long? That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. A half-sized list of evidence. The list of... okay. What would the other half of the list be doing here? I knew it! The chief must be hiding something about the case! It would appear so. Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk! I found this inside the drawer. A list of evidence. Mr. Edgeworth has the other half of the list. What would this list be doing here? Better look a little more into the list. Okay, let me just take a look. Yeah, Huh? I wonder what this is. It looks like someone drew some kind of sketch here. Must have been Emma. What is it? Did you find something? I can't make it out. Better keep quiet about it for now. Nothing. Why are your eyes moving about like that, Mr. Wright? Better not forget about this picture. That was Lana's desk. It sure is tidy. Lana always has been a meticulous cleaner. There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone is still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here? No. Chief Gant must still be keeping it clean in memory of their partnership. They were the stuff legends are made of. Does he keep it in memory of her, or in memory of the crime? The shelves are mostly empty. Lana must clean them out. Must have cleaned them out when she transferred over to the office. There's a small picture on the shelf. Hey! This is when Lana and I went to the theme park. Damn, left it here, huh? Yep. The jade, yeah. That. After receiving his award, Mr. Marshall took a picture here. Then went along with Chief Gant to question Drake. I bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. Gee, you think? Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at the jar? I remember when the three of us put that jar back together. Ah, the good old days. It's kinda early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence for the case? That's right. One of the shards had an SL9 sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know the fragment we just found? You mean this one? Yeah, that one! It was in the safe! Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits. Okay. Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do. Mr. Wright, here's some glue. We can piece this together again. They'll prove Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. Damn it. Got it. There. It fits like a charm. That of course means Gant wittingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. But, hey guys, get a load of this. What is it? This piece you just attached. It's different from the others. There's a reddish line on it. A reddish 9. That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Cat hide this in his safe? Oh shit. Whoa! This area must have been covered in blood! Is that from the incident? Must be! When prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. 2 years have passed, so the reaction's kinda dull. So a murder really did take place here. You can see pretty far from 15 stories up. You had to drop that suit of armor from here. First, the chief wanted to use stained glass glass for the window. Why didn't he? They say he changed his mind because he wouldn't be able to see the view. Oh, stained glass and not his huge window. Huh? Look at the giant window. Makes you want to crash through and jump outside. This is the 15th floor. I know, it's just saying. Saying what? He wants to celebrate Leap Day the literal way. Ever since making detective, I always dreamed about doing something like that. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. As long as he doesn't go crashing through the window when he gets fired. Don't say that! Huh? I forgot. Alright, go to town. Sheesh. What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that? Go ahead. Take my fingerprints. It's not your fingerprints you want to take. Huh? Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. I was talking about the cloths we found in the safe. Oh. Haha. I knew that. The one with the handprints on it, right? Sheesh. Where's your sense of humor? Okay, right? Let's check for prints. Okay. What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told a million times. Alright, let's do this. I normally do this with a controller. But, yeah. Oh, okay. That's how. Oh. I gave it my best shot. That kind of result won't be any good for matching results, right? It doesn't look like we'll get a clearer result from the print. Okay, different finger then. This one looks great. The middle finger. Okay. See? Okay, there we go. Oh. No. How could this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey! You found a match? Whose fingerprints are they? Huh? Seems the prints are too old. They're not clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. Thought they'd be Dark's prints. Psst! Hey you! Over here. What's going on here? What is that kid's prince doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now. Here. Maybe you should hold on to this. Well, was there any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Oh shit. Now that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right? You and the codes. Chief Gant. We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm the man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out the window and saw a stray dog run past into a pole. Right into a pole. Just then I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID on the way out. Won't be needing it anymore. But sir... Now get out. Yes, sir. You'll be on our way too, then. Wait. You. The one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Me, sir? I'd like a word with you. But sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. Hey, with the spiky hair, you're free to go. Mr. Wright! You better not leave her alone with that guy. You left her alone with the guy, okay. You're just the best, aren't you? Huh. Look, pal. I told you once, I told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? It's like you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it. Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gantz was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. I don't. But why has she kept eerily silent about it all this time? Anyway, you listening to me? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you all I can. What you've told me over these past couple of days is fucking shit, mate. Not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it was that was lurking behind your words. Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth? Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Sick-headed is the term he used, I believe. Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth, it's that you're incapable of doing so, because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say. So you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Wright, who, may I ask, is this person you're speaking of? The one I'm supposedly so frightened of. Can I present random people? The person who you fear is this. To be honest, there's someone a bit scarier. Who would that be? Why, you, of course. Me? Yes. You seriously believe what you're saying, don't you? Now that's scary. You seem to have the markings of a criminal in you. What with all your fallacious accusations? Can't you spend tonight in the cell next to mine? Yes. How about the same cell, huh? If you ask me, you're the scary one. Well, Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, you are addressing the Chief Prosecutor. Do not forget your place. I take it she's still not ready to spill the tea. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners till 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he was respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically hiding and forging evidence. Of course these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the possible evidence. Okay. Me. I had access because I was second in command of the investigation. Yeah, you, but also one other. Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in court. I just found this in a safe in his office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you summarized. I cannot disobey the Chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate in the murder of Detective Goodman. Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yeah, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. Was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it. The knife from the SL9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. Can't just leave that knife in him. So I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife? That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. That's the reason for the bandage on your right hand? Yes. Seems I got blood on the victim's shoe as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. Miss Star, huh? Why do you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible. So you hit Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective. The detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case there. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in the scarf and hit it. Oh man, it's for in Edward's exhaust pipe. Right. Then I called my sister to tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma? I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma was so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. Bad feeling? The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. Why him? The lead investigator of the SL9 incident has been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust, or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hasn't made up his mind to break in the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room? I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But Lana, you earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial. There's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. Gotta get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down at the chief's office 2 years ago. Whew, wow. That was a long investigation again. Oh man. Actually, I got lost again. Until, the retirement letter. Yeah. I mean, I knew something was up with Gant, okay? I knew, but at the same time it was still so confusing I couldn't fit the pieces together. Do I see them fitting together? After all is said and done? No, I don't. But that's what next time is for, huh? What's next time? Ah, yes. Must be 4 a.m. brain fart. Hold on. Oh yeah, the trial. It must be the trial. And not much to say. Long investigation. Edgeworth is at his breaking point again. Gumshoe gum fucked, Yeah. Anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for watching my playthrough of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. And if you like what you see, stay tuned and stay awesome. Good night.